a guest here, Peter, to come and present to us ahead of Big Freeze Round in a couple of weeks. We got connected through Dimmer originally, and he is going to come and speak to you about his journey and some decisions he's made in his life so far. So.
G'day, Peter here. In February 2020, I was diagnosed with motor neuron disease. It's not going to determine how I operate. It's not going to be me. So I can live with it. Not only can live with it, but it can make a different version of me. It's able to take the challenges that I've got now and help people learn. If people become more resilient because of me, then I've done my job. I chose happiness, and this is how I did it. I hope you enjoy. Good morning. So as you can see, I have made my attempt to have some fun with this and to take the positives out of my situation. Firstly, I want to thank everyone for having me here today. It's a great thrill. I'm a lifetime Tigers supporter, so to be sitting here is a great honour. And a lot of people live their lives through you blokes, and including me. So it's a great honour to be here. A little bit of background, as the little video said there. Probably 2018, I started to get some reasonably severe symptoms and was losing the use of my arms and wasn't diagnosed until 2020. So it was a tough period between sort of 18 months of not knowing what was going on. Sorry, I do get a bit breathless with this from time to time. So my situation is diagnosed in 2020. My arms are my main problem. My lungs as well, they're about 40% that my lung capacity operates at. So I get fatigued as well very easily. So I can walk a couple hundred yards, but that's the reason for the wheelchair. I sort of got to manage my fatigue. When I was diagnosed, one of the first things I did, I switched into a mindset of positivity. There's no way known it was going to get me and allow me to just have a negative attitude towards life. So that was a really, really important switch that I made, and it was a very definite one. It was a light globe moment that it had to be done that way. So it was a really, really important start. And a couple of things, as you saw, I've been on a couple of podcasts and whatever, which was fun. And the first one I did was really important because it was sort of another 12 months in, and I, for the first time, was able to just get everything out and just let everything go. And talk about the issues and whatever. So that was really cathartic for me, and I enjoyed that. And from that moment on, I saw the opportunity to embrace the good that was going to be around me. I'm in a situation where everything's positive in my life. I get phone calls from mates all the time, constantly. I get, there's a lot of love in the room whenever I'm there, because people care about my situation and are always asking after me. So. It sounds crazy, but I'm in a bit of a fortunate position that I get more of that than what your man in the street might. So I took the decision to embrace that, and whatever opportunity came up, I was really determined to embrace it. And as a part of the journey, I spoke on a podcast, and one of the guys said, "You sound like you've chosen happiness." And I wrestled with that for a bit and didn't quite gel initially, and then I said, I have. I've actually chosen to be happy with my life. And again, that was a really important moment because, as you see up there, I've a bit of a mantra of mine that I do choose happiness. And so I decided, again, I've got a lot of time on my hands these days. I haven't worked for a while and whatever else, so I put a bit of time into this, and I've been sitting on I do some work with VitaMND, and I've done some work with MND Australia, just on various things, and I'm sort of a bit of a go-to voice here and there, which is a lot of fun. And as a part of that, I said, well, what does happiness mean to me? So I decided to take a letter for each of the letters in happiness. And so the first two were really easy. It was honest and acceptance, which kind of go together so from my point of view, if I'm honest with everyone that I meet, honest with family, with friends, with everyone else about how I'm feeling, it's easier for them. And I found that by accepting my situation again, it made the honesty bit a lot easier. So they were really important. The other one's perspective is one of the P's. So everyone here, within 10 seconds, I'm sure that you can think of someone worse off than you, and I'm the same. I see things in my daily travels where people are worse off than me. So that's a really easy one for me as well. That I'm having a bad day, well, I can assure you someone's having a worse day than what I am. The other P was purpose. And again, doing some work with M&D Australia and Fight M&D just gave me a purpose, and doing these podcasts and stupid little videos and those sorts of things gave me a purpose. So and gets me thinking about things more. So that was a really important part of the process as well. And then why, I struggled with why, so I cheated and said, why not? Why not be happy? So again, an easy one. It's a mindset, and I think I've been lucky enough to be able to have the strength of character where I can kick into this mindset of being happy. So that was the piece there. I've also become I don't pretend to be an expert in any of this. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I'm what's known as a plex now, a person with lived experience. So that was a strange one to sort of get my head around for a bit, becoming a plex. But so that's what I got when I sit on these panels and whatever else, working with the organisations. I sit there as a plex, and I'm getting valuable feedback about that, because there's some wonderful people doing wonderful work out there trying to get to the bottom of this. But they need my input. They're making decisions or recommendations about how it might look or how it might feel, but they're coming to me and asking, well, how does it feel? So that's been a really important part as well, to have that input. One of the things I decided to do too, I had once with a mate a while back, and he said, well, happiness is great, but how do you know you're not faking it? And I thought, well, what a really good question. So I sort of said, well, and again, you'd all appreciate, what gets measured in our lives, and excuse me. So I thought about measuring it, and in my mind, I pictured a ring, and sort of, if you can just do it with your thumb and forefinger, and I knew that I couldn't be entirely happy because I've got this health situation going on. So again, I'm realistic enough to know that I'm never going to be entirely happy because, my health's suffering. So what I did with this measurement and just this little ring, I call it my happiness loop. So if you close your fingers on that loop, it means you're entirely happy with your life. Now, great in theory, but realistically, are we always completely happy with our lives? No, we're not. So it's going to open up a little bit, that ring. And I found myself, in my own experience, the best way to look at that was to be able to take that bit that's missing, that's stopping the closure of the loop, and now you've got two situations going on. You can close that loop again, because the bit that's left is your happiness, and that can relate to finance, to your relationships, to your family, to whatever it might be, all go into that loop. But you're able to close that loop again. So there's a big part of your life that's closed, that's, you're entirely happy with that. You can also take the bit that's making you unhappy and park it somewhere else and then go and work on that. So you're not I find that I've got an uncluttered mind these days. I've got time to work through these things, and I haven't got all the everyday stuff going on. So the ability for me to pluck that bit out, and 99% of what goes on is health for me. So I've just got to work on my health. But again, I've got this part of my life that's always full and enriched, and I feel really, really grateful for that. So that's just something that I use as my little example of measuring how you can be happy, and importantly continue to work on the happy bit, but also you've got a bit out on the side there, you're able to analyse what it is that's causing you some angst and stopping you from being entirely happy. So that's sort of one of the tools that I use. The message is, it's the importance of the choice to be happy. That it is an actual choice. It's not just going to come and go. You do have to flick into that mode of being happy. and to analyse and understand what it is that makes you happy at that point in time. It's not a switch that can go on and off. You do have to think about it, but it is really, really important that that you are able to go on this happiness journey, I suppose, and understand the things that do make you happy. So that's kind of it in a nutshell for me.
I think there's so many lessons we can all take from the way Peter spoke and the way he's handling his journey. Like I'm sure it's really challenging, but the thing about perspective, like it's so powerful. We all have challenges in life, and every one of us go through challenges day to day, whether they're big or small, but they're big to us. But the ability to flip the script, I think that's what you've done. It's inspirational the way you're taking on life right now, and I'm sure you bring a lot of joy to yourself and your family, but you bring a lot of joy to other people. So, well done, mate. It means a lot.
Fantastic.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.